Yeah, thank you, and thanks for being here, Secretary Bernhardt. I do want to touch on the reauthorization of Land and Water Conservation Fund. It passed 92 to 8 in the Senate, 363 to 62 in the House, and I think everybody on this committee voted for that. And so certainly a victory for conservation, showing the strong bipartisan support of protecting access to our public lands. And certainly in my district, it's helped fund Schaffer Park and Selma, Hanford Sports Park, and the National Park Sequoia and Kings Canyon, just to the east of my district. And so, this is one of the most successful conservation programs we have. And so I think all of us here were very concerned when the Interior's budget, when your budget included a 95% reduction in funding for the fund. And as you testified earlier, your role is to, quote, work hard to effectuate the President's vision, which is the elimination of this fund. So can you explain why these cuts were proposed from the Interior Department? And as you testified, if there are funding that you will, if the funds are appropriated, you will expend those funds, but that would seem to be a direct contravention of the President's vision. And so how do you reconcile that?
Well, to your last question, it's my understanding the President proposes and the Congress disposes when it comes to appropriations, and that's the way our Constitution works. In terms of LWCF, I would say this, that we're thrilled that you created the permanent authorization. It's my experience that since LWCF has been enacted, there's been 2 years that it's been fully funded. And I actually think that the fact that it's reauthorized permanently gives me an opportunity in the next budget to push harder in our internal budget debates about it. But if you look at our budget overall and you compare our budget to EPA and DOE and other similarly sort of situated agencies, I think we did pretty good in the internal process. But we'll spend money that if Congress gives us for LWCF, and the question was really, I think, can we get it out quickly? And the answer to that is yes. We appreciate that you reauthorized it.
No, the question was more the President's vision, as enacted by his budget request, which came from Interior, I'm assuming, was to terminate the program, to reduce it by 95%. And although that the money may be appropriated, it's still against the President's vision, which you said you're working to enact, and not spend the money.
I don't think that's the case. I think the President said this year, this is what we'd like. You all take that and you decide what you like, and then we implement whatever you like. And the President's not going to say, if you appropriate it, we can't spend it.
What if the President would say, I don't want you to spend it on parks, I want you to spend it on a border wall?
Probably don't want to get into a legal argument about the President's authority, but I don't know if that would be
that was certainly a question that was raised earlier, and we know how everyone voted on that. But no, thanks very much with regard to that, because I know you are a strong supporter of public lands and access to public lands. But I do see that, that conflict between yourself, the Interior Department, and the administration. The other question I'd like to ask is about climate change, and I'm particularly interested in the threat that climate change poses to water infrastructure and water security in California, notwithstanding the other states. And we're expected to endure longer, more frequent droughts, higher temperatures, earlier spring runoffs. And I want to know more about how the department is incorporating climate change into your infrastructure management.
Well, I think everybody recognizes that the climate is changing. Where we go in terms of thinking through these issues is a place that the fourth assessment and the USGS scientists all agree on, and that is that the largest uncertainty in projecting future climate conditions is the level of GHG going forward. And so what our scientists tell us are the best practices to use in thinking through these issues is that we recognize that there's not one particular model that's going to be the probabilistic answer, you need to look at all of the models and a full range of models, and then look at within that range. And they've said that use multiple models, use multiple representative concentration pathways, and that's what we're trying to do with our decisions, to ensure that we have the full range of modeling and then utilize it as appropriate. And if you look at our written decisions, you'd see that that's the case.
Great, thank you.